It happened this past week. Oh my gosh, it was a big birthday. Microsoft Corporation. Guess how old they turned? 50 years old. That's right. The company behind Internet Explorer is now old enough to use Internet Explorer as its daily browser. It just reminds me of the time that I interviewed Bill Gates. I was so excited, and I landed this interview with Bill Gates so many years ago, and my mother was super excited too because I was single at the time, and she was always on the lookout for like the perfect match. But let me tell you, it was not exactly a spark fest. I mean, Bill gave short one-word answers like, "So, Bill, where do you think the future's going?" He's like, "Oh, ahead." I'm like, "Okay, thank you for that." He also swayed back and forth as he was talking. And then afterwards, my mom called me. She's like, "How'd it go? How'd it go?" And I said, it was pretty rough. Then she paused and she came back with this gem I'll never forget. She said to me, "Honey, with that kind of money, we can fix anything." Wow. And on that happy note, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to America's largest award-winning best show about all things digital. I'm Kim Komando, your beloved digital goddess, here with you once again with a big task. I always want to make sure that you are tech ahead and never left tech behind in the digital dust. And after all, you can find my show in over 420 top stations across the United States. And we're streaming everywhere in your favorite radio app. And also wherever you get your podcasts, just search for Komando with a K. And if you're more of the visual type, head over to youtube.com/Kim Komando, and then you can actually watch the show. And I'd like to say hello to all of our listeners on the American Forces Network Radio, reaching over 375,000 U.S. service members. We love each and every one of you. And the Komando hotline's open. I know you have some questions that you need my help with, because after all, I know you can go to Gemini and Copilot, Perplexity and ChatGPT and DeepSeek and Madness and all the others. But that's AI, and it hallucinates. And when you need trusted advice, that's why you need to call 1-888-825-5254. And just a reminder, you can always schedule a time to speak with me here on the show. Head over to Komando.com and hit the link at the top that says Ask Kim. And I'd like to thank NetSuite for helping to make this show possible. Do you know over 41,000 businesses have future-proofed their business with NetSuite by Oracle? It's the #1 cloud ERP at bringing accounting, financial management, inventory, and HR all into one platform. Download the CFO's Guide to AI and Machine Learning for free right now at netsuite.com/Kim. Every single day of my life, weekends, national holidays, even when I'm on vacation, I make sure that I'm always tech ahead so that this way I can bring you the top 5 things that you need to know that are happening right now. And then we're going to start with #1, TikTok. Now, as I am recording this show, a few groups have made offers to take over TikTok. Amazon came in the ring, Oracle, AppLovin, the founder of OnlyFans, and then also with some money from Steve Wynn from Las Vegas. Even a crypto-funded team has thrown in a bid. Now, one billionaire wants to turn TikTok into some kind of, he says, ethical social media platform. Not sure what that means. But ByteDance has not agreed to do anything as of yet. Now, rumor is that President Trump wants to announce something that he's calling TikTok America, a company that's owned plus or minus 50% by U.S. investors and about 20% by ByteDance, and they would license the algorithm, and the remaining percentages are kind of still up in the air. But even when the app is under new ownership, things are going to get tricky. How is TikTok going to change? Is it still going to recommend the same content? Is TikTok Shop really going to be working the same way as it does right now? Because remember, we got a lot of tariffs that are also coming down the line. And even with the sale, it's not a done deal. U.S. regulators, they have to sign off. Lawsuits, lawmakers are watching it. So for now, TikTok is still here, but make no mistake, whoever controls TikTok is going to own a lot of the world. All right, moving on to #2. Is Google the new Kodak? Let's talk about these tech companies. Okay, AT&T should have owned the internet, right? Because they had a dial tone into everybody's homes. What about Sears? It should have owned Amazon, right? But what happened to Google? History is just full of powerful companies that languish because, as I always say, if you don't innovate, then you evaporate. Do you know that Blockbuster Video was offered Netflix for pennies and they turned it down? So now we have Google, and they're trying to throw half baked AI into all these searches, and it doesn't really work. So what's happening is that people are migrating away from Google and just going to ChatGPT or the others to get their answers. Yeah, Google. It just may become the next Kodak. Moving on to number 3, it's not the worst thing to happen in baseball, but let me tell you, it's up there. During an A's versus Cubs game, this drone was buzzing around in the outfield while security just stood still going, I don't know, what are we going to do here? We have a hero, a 22-year-old bat boy, Stuart Thalman. He sprang into action, armed with nothing but a Louisville slugger and zero hesitation. Stewart went out into the field and then just whacked the drone right out of the sky. No injuries, no lawsuits, just one less drone in the air. By the way, the drone was probably trying to live stream the game for free. All right, moving on to number 4. If you want to go viral in 2025, what do you think that you need to do some social media content about? All right, let me give you the spoiler. It's tariffs, right? Searches for what is a tariff and who pays it are up 300%. With Trump putting them in the spotlight, people want to know how it's going to affect their jobs and their wallets. So there's a comedian by the name of Walter Masterson. He posted a debate on who really pays tariffs on beans and corn, and it became an instant hit. 8 million views on YouTube, 28 million views on TikTok. That is just crazy. So tariff is a tax to let you know that the government slaps on stuff coming into the country from someplace else. It's kind of like a cover charge for imported goods. So if there's a tariff on imported smartphones, that means that the companies bringing the phones into the country, they have to pay a fee, which means that's going to be obviously passed on to all of us. And finally, this coming in at number 5, starting on May 7th, you need a real ID to fly. And let me tell you, DMVs across the country are a mess. I read a story in the Wall Street Journal about this. And did you know that you can get a gig right now to stand in line for somebody else? And likewise, you could pay somebody to stand in line for you. For example, on TaskRabbit and SpotBlaze, the going rate is about $25 to $35 an hour. And in cities like New York or Los Angeles, that can go over $40. And then there's a tip that you need to give them, like 15% or 20%. But this is really interesting to me. I mean, think about this in our society. You can pay somebody to stand in line for you, okay, for $25, $35 an hour, or you can stand in line for them and make some money. Not too shabby. All righty, think about this. Every time you look anything up online, even those embarrassing and private searches, you fill out a form, you shop, the data brokers, they're just watching. They collect and sell information to anyone just willing to pay. And I'm talking about your name, your address, your phone number, your social security number, even your social media activity. It's all there, often without your knowledge or your consent. Let me tell you, these shady data brokers, they know everything, and they use personal details to track and target in ways that you may not even realize. But there is a way to fight back. Yes, Incogni. Let me tell you, Incogni is this amazing, powerful tool that removes your data from these broker sites and people's search sites, making it so much harder for anyone to get their hands on your personal intel. Now, Incogni automatically handles this tedious process of removal requests to all these data broker sites. And let me tell you, I checked my dashboard today. They have removed me from over 1,480 sites and data brokers. And also, they put me on the data suppression list, which means these folks, they can't add me back. It's illegal for them to add me back. So anyway, here's what you need to do. Go to privacykim.com, and that's where you get my deal 60% off. That's privacykim.com, privacykim.com. All right, let's see. Coming up, we're going to talk about how you can book a sold-out campsite, how much money you can make on Amazon by selling books, and let's see, scammers are now posing as IRS agents. Oh, and something I did really fun with ChatGPT and my new little puppy Bella, so pretty. Oh, my gosh. And then, of course, we have just the best callers ever here on the Kim Komando Show. Hey, there is still time for you to enter to win a brand new iPhone 16 Pro, a $999 value. We're going to be giving it away here in, I don't know, probably a week or so. So if you have not entered already, make sure you go to winfromkim.com. Once again, that's winfromkim.com. All righty then. Let's see. Who is this in the studio with me?
Who is it?
Who is that guy?
I'm really curious.
It's awesome. Andrew Babinski, my cohort, also the co-host on the morning show here on 99.9 KEZ. Andrew, you're looking so wonderful.
Well, what a compliment. I appreciate that. Thank you. You look great yourself.
Like my new hairdo?
It's new.
Yes.
What's new about it?
God, you're such a guy.
I mean, it's long, it's washed. Yeah.
It's like...
Did you get highlights? Did you get lowlights?
It doesn't matter. I sat in the chair for like way too long yesterday. Okay. It's like, I can see why you're bald.
Yeah, it's so much easier.
You just shave it, you're done.
I do it in the shower. I multitask.
So our first caller is very interesting. Did you have a chance to look at the story?
I did. I read it this morning, yes.
And it's because it's a trend that's happening on social media.
But I don't understand it.
What do you mean?
I don't understand why they would make this post.
Oh, well, we'll get into that.
Okay, good.
But first, let's bring on Sergeant Cunningham in Great Falls, Montana. Hi there, Sergeant.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
Great. You know, I read your story, and thank you so much for coming on the show with us. Because
thank you so much for having me.
Because it's fascinating to me that there's a picture of you that's going viral with is it a German Shepherd, right?
Yeah.
Talking about how you're lost and you've been missing, and your vehicle was discovered last night with your daughter inside, and unfortunately, Officer Cunningham still remains unaccounted for.
What are you doing on the show?
More surprised than me, let me tell you.
Shouldn't you be out there trying to find yourself right now?
Oh, we're putting every effort forward, I tell you.
That's good. So tell me, how did you find out that this was happening?
I actually got a call from our Facebook media person who runs our Facebook page for the police department. And she was like, I'm just checking on you, make sure you're okay. And at that moment, I'm getting text messages and phone calls, and like my phone just blew up. And then she sent me this picture of this post that I was missing, and it was one of our followers on our Facebook page had seen it, a post out of Kent, Washington, that I was missing, and knew that I actually worked for the Great Falls Police Department, and sent it to us just saying, hey, you should know about this. And then from there, it's just completely blown up. It's so wild.
So you're getting calls from everybody. Hey, are you okay? Are you all right?
Yes. I've got calls from family all around the country. Pennsylvania, Nevada, California, Indiana. It's all hit in those specific areas.
And how's your daughter?
Wild as ever.
Exactly.
I feel like because of that post, I already know you. I mean, I know you're 28 years old. You're 5'9". I mean, there's so many details that I know.
I wish I was 5'9", not even in heels.
You know, when I saw that, and I was looking at the picture because you are leaning against it looks like a cement picnic table, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'm like, there's no way she's that big. She's not. I mean, unless the dog is just super massive next to you. It's like a horse.
It just goes to show they just don't do their homework, do they?
So where was this picture? Where did they swipe the picture from?
So all of these images that have circulated, the one with me and my canine is actually more recent. That one popped up yesterday. But the one of me in my uniform, just my department picture, those have all been taken off of our Facebook profile, our police department page. They were posted about 10 years ago when I got selected as a firearms instructor. And so they put a post up there with my picture just saying, Great Falls Police has selected their first female firearms instructor, and just kind of gave a quick biography. At that time, I was 28. And then I think the canine pictures soon followed that. So they had to dig pretty far for those.
Wow. Well, so Andrew, you were saying, like, why would they even do this?
Yeah, because they're not asking for money. They're just asking to share the post, to help out. I mean, it seems innocent enough.
I mean, why wouldn't you want to help find a beautiful police officer.
Exactly.
I mean, and you're stunning. I mean,
Maybe I'll get a get out of jail free card if I help find her.
okay. And then, and her daughter, oh my gosh, found in the car, the trauma. Well, it's appealing to your heartstrings. Okay, so that you will share this image and you'll say, you know what, we have to help find Sergeant Cunningham. We have to do this. And so as we band together, let's make sure that we each and every one of us shares it. So the whole idea is that you're going to share it. And then when it gets to be enough shares, that's when they'll change the link in the picture to be something more nefarious, maybe some type of scam that's happening on the internet, how to make money, how to avoid your taxes, whatever's happening in the scenes.
So they're building an audience, and then they do the old switcheroo.
So have you seen any of these switched out to something else yet, Sergeant?
No, I haven't. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I just often scroll right by them, to be honest.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see where exactly they're redirecting the traffic, because there's a similar one that's going around that actually was a true story. Not too far from what they're saying happened to you. It was about a guy who was in the car with a couple of kids, and the car went off a bridge, and the kids were able to escape the car, but he didn't, and now it just goes on and on and on. And that was actually a sad story. And then there's another one about a father, and they're showing him with his two kids that he has cancer, and if we share it, everybody who shares is gonna send up one more prayer request that he will survive. So what do you do from here now that you're internet famous?
I really don't know. I don't know. I get all these calls and texts, and people just forward me these screenshots. You just kind of roll your eyes and just wonder what the long-term effects of all that is going to be.
Do you think or wonder ever why me? Why did they pick my photo from 10 years ago?
Yeah, I often wonder how they came across it, because it is 10 years old. So I really have no idea. It's just strange. They would have had to dig pretty far into that. Obviously, it's a public profile. Mm-hmm. But they would have had to dig really far to find that image.
Yeah, but if they used a more recent image, maybe people would have noticed. I don't know, quicker, maybe
more recognizable. Yeah, possibly.
It's just, but the scams just never stop. I mean, it's every other day. There's just another one that's popping up. Sergeant, thank you for sharing your story with us.
I told you about the guy in the Safeway line, right? When you go to the grocery store and there's a bucket that you can donate, kids with cancer or whatever, a good cause at the end of the checkout. Mm-hmm. I'm standing in line at Safeway, and I'm just getting one thing. The guy in front of me has got, a whole week's worth full of groceries. So we're standing there waiting. We kind of start chatting it up. And then he turns and looks at me, and he is white as a ghost. And I'm like, what's wrong? And he's like, that's my daughter. And when you looked on the canister, there's a picture of a young girl that's dying of some illness. And it was just a photo they stole off his Facebook page. And it was his daughter that they were using to push for their fake charity.
Okay, now think about that. That had to go through a couple of layers.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I had to get approval by Safeway and all that.
Yes. And so I wonder if they were able to ever track back who dropped off the canister and who collected the money.
I hope so. I hope they didn't just say, well, whatever, and put the money in the till and move on, because this guy was shocked to see his kid on that picture.
Wouldn't you be? I would be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, you'd probably look at it once and go like, wait, that's not my kid. Oh, wait, that is my kid.
That looks like Eloise. That is Eloise.
Oh, my gosh. Hey, let me tell you, passwords are the keys to your digital world, so why leave the door wide open? Let me tell you, if you are reusing passwords or even just tweaking them slightly, you're making it easy for hackers to just waltz right in, and NordPass can help. My favorite password manager is available for only $1.43 per month. Go to nordpass.com/Kim to get this special deal. That's nordpass.com/Kim. Hey, still to come, a unique way that I use ChatGPT you don't want to miss here on the Kim Komando Show. Hey, nothing's more important than protecting your home and loved ones from harm. And for millions of Americans, that reassurance starts every single day by arming their Simply Safe home security system. Visit simplysafekim.com and save 50% on a new system. There's no safe like Simply Safe. So, Andrew, do you have a book in you?
Excuse me?
Do you ever think, like, I should write a book about something?
No, I mean, I think I should actually try and read a book someday.
Not necessarily the right one.
So we're going to start with baby steps first.
That's true. Well, I got this question from Sharon in Chicago. How much can I make selling books on Amazon? Well, here's the deal. You have to be careful about how you price your books. For ebooks priced between $2.99 and $9.99, you're going to make 70% in royalties. Anything above or below that range drops your royalties to 35%.
Whoa.
Yes. So for paperbacks, you get 60% of the list price minus printing, depends on the page count and all that other good stuff. But let me tell you, what a novel way to make a living.
Goodness. Goodness gracious.
That was so funny. So good. Daryl in Dayton, Ohio, welcome. Boy, let me tell you, booking travel, I was doing that last night myself. What's going on?
Hi, Kim. Thanks so much for taking my call. We have the vacation bug. Oh, and before I forget, I wanted to mention that I've been a fan since your first station at Naples, so really appreciate it.
Oh.
We have the vacation bug, and we go everywhere. We travel probably more often than most families do in a year. We do in 3 months. We do a trip every month, mostly domestic. So we go to Florida, New York, Texas on a regular basis. We're going to the Grand Canyon this weekend. We also do driving trips from Dayton to Chicago or Cleveland. And we're constantly looking for the best value on travel. That'd be travel for not only airfares, but rental cars and hotels. And what we find is that when we check the fare today, we can go, yes, we want to buy that airfare. We go back and it has changed. Very rarely down.
It's funny how that works.
Yeah, it's funny how that works, right? Rental cars, we don't understand why every website we use will quote us the same exact price. And then the hotels are really all over the map. One day they're $100, the next day they're $150. The day after that, they could be $110.
Yeah.
So looking for advice, and maybe I'm doing something I shouldn't be, and anything you can do to save me, $10, because we travel with a lot of people, I would appreciate it.
Well, I think that Andrew, before we get into this, right. I think that Daryl needs to do an audition for us.
An audition?
Yes.
In what scope?
I think I'm hearing a little Willie Nelson. I'm feeling Willie Nelson.
All right.
Okay. Come on, Daryl. Let's hear it. Come on, belt.
You see, you've tapped my memory, and that's not a good thing, Kim.
Why? What's going to come out?
Yeah, that's the problem, Kim.
Are you just going to sit there and smoke? And that's your Willie Nelson?
You know what? And as soon as you said Willie Nelson, we actually did go to a Willie Nelson concert last year. And for the life of me, I can't remember a single song. If you would like to hum a few bars, I think I could get into it.
Okay.
I think he's failed his audition.
I think he has too. This was worse than me auditioning with the Beach Boys. I'm just telling you right now.
At least you tried.
At least I belted out a song before I got thrown off the stage. All right, come on, Daryl. Daryl, I'm not talking to you until I get a little song out of you. Come on.
Hold on, a song. Okay, Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star.
That's not what I was thinking.
The classic Willie Nelson hit, Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star.
Okay. Let me do it. I'll do it. This is going to send the ratings soaring. I just know it. You ready? On the road again. Just can't wait to get on the road again. Okay, well. Okay, maybe we ought to. That went over so much better in rehearsal.
This might be the last time we allow singing on the Kim Komando show.
We'd rather have the bad jokes. We really would. All right, booking travel is a nightmare. It is. You can. Let me tell you how I do it. I use Google Flights, and that's when I'll figure out the duration. And see. For me, duration is paramount. Like, for example, I'm booking a trip to go to Maui. And as I looked at Google Flights, now this is just to put this in perspective, from Phoenix to Honolulu to Maui, wherever, it's probably a 6-hour flight. So if it says 11 hours, then I'm like, that's just not happening.
You don't want to stop in Oakland for 3 hours, Kim?
Well, on the way back, last night when I was searching, keep in mind, it's a 6-hour flight. I think it was American Airlines or maybe it was United or Delta. I'm not really sure. But you were leaving Kahului, Maui, and then going to Portland, and then going to Las Vegas, and then coming to Phoenix. It was a 25-hour, 15-minute flight. I'm like, it took me 13 hours to get to Tokyo. Okay, I mean, what's going on here?
Well, now was that flight extremely cheap?
You know what? It wasn't.
Well, that's the worst of both worlds.
It wasn't that cheap. So Google Flights, Hopper, you want to book flights on a Sunday. If you can travel on a Wednesday, that's always it. Hotels are something else. I don't know if you've ever tried this, Daryl, is that you get the lowest price that you can find online. Then you call and you speak to the reservation desk for whatever the hotel is, front office. And
I have not tried that.
And you want to talk to that hotel, not the 800 number. You have to get the local number, okay? And then you talk to the reservation person. And what I always ask is, hi, how are you? Gosh, you know what? Yeah. And here's a line that you can use. How many times a day do you say that? And they'll laugh each and every time because they have to answer the phone. Thank you for calling Hilton. My name is this. And what's your name? And how can I help you today? And they'll laugh. And then all of a sudden you got an instant buddy. And then I tell them, I got this price on the internet. It's $150. And are you guys running any type of special? How can I, is there any kind of discounts available? And then you automatically now have a friend. And then I always ask the next question: is there a room in your hotel that people ask for time and time again? Okay. Because that tells you that that's a room with a view. It's not near the elevator, whatever it may be.
Right.
And then if you have an American Express card, because you didn't go through American Express, then that person will say to you, I'm sorry, I can't give you the American Express benefits, meaning you have a late checkout, instant upgrade, free breakfast, whatever it may be. But if you say to that person, you know what, gosh, could you do me a huge favor and just take over the reservation? And she'll say, you know what, I can't, but you can call American Express and ask them to take over the reservation, so then you get all the perks.
Okay, I didn't understand what takeover meant.
Takeover means that instead of the reservation being through the hotel, it would be as if you called American Express, Capital One, or whoever.
Oh, I see. Yeah. No. Get it. That's a great suggestion.
Yeah.
Also.
So then you get all the perks. Now, as far as rental cars, Andrew, you've used Turo, right?
I love Turo.
Okay, talk about Turo.
Especially in a pinch if you need a rental car. But Turo is basically getting a rental-car not from one of the big companies, not from, all those kiosks that you see at the airport. You're renting a car from people, normal people. If I had a car and I wanted to list it on Turo, I could, and people could rent it and go around town. I think it's first of all, it's impersonal. You don't have to talk to anybody. Every single Turo car I've ever picked up, the keys are in a little lockbox on the window. You go there, there's no human contact. You can get your car at any time of the day. And what I have found is it's always cheaper.
It is. It's always cheaper. I rented it. I used Turo last time I went to Miami, and I saved, I don't know, I think I saved like $300.
Yeah,
crazy.
It's such a big difference. Another thing too is, and this is just a sidebar, if you don't have a credit card, Turo allows you to rent a car with a debit card. You can do that every single place at the airport. They're not going to touch you with a debit card. You have to have a credit card. So that's just another little benefit.
Yes. And if you are traveling overseas, Daryl, that what you want to do is use a VPN to make sure that when you are renting that car, that you say, like, for example, if you're renting a car in the UK, that you say that you are in the UK, or let them, the website, think that you are in the UK, because then you'll get a lower price then. And I saved a friend of mine like $600. We talked about that on a podcast, I think.
Yeah, they love to gouge us Americans.
It's like nutso. So where are you going this summer?
Where am I going this summer? Probably Indiana.
Nice.
And then I'm going to Universal Studios.
Fun.
A couple weeks. Those are my trips that are planned. But you're right about Google Flights. Last year was the first summer I had ever used it. I knew it was there, but I never did it. I saved $400 than going through, one of the big Priceline type websites.
It is.
Huge difference.
Let's see. Kathy in San Bruno, California. Hi there, Kathy.
Hi, thank you for taking my call. I am a big fan of your love notes that I get every day in my mailbox.
Awesome.
So my issue is that I bought a Tesla Model 2023 Model Y, and I'm very disappointed in the blind spot warning system because I've gotten into an accident because of the blind spot. It does flash red, but that's after you're in the lane, from my understanding.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if there's any aftermarket blind spot warning systems. I've seen a few of them online, and I also have been looking at side view mirrors. Is there anything that you recommend?
Well, let me tell you about my Tesla experience.
Get comfortable.
Uh-oh.
Well, I bought a Tesla Plaid. I had it for about 22 minutes before I thought, this is the worst purchase I've made in my entire life.
I hear you.
I was terribly disappointed by the anti-collision device warnings, whatever you want to call it, that you have this big tablet in the middle between the driver's seat and the passenger seat. And when you are backing up or changing lanes, it really wants you to look at the tablet. And you're like, wait a minute, with all this tech in this car, all the cameras, I mean, the car can make the fart sound, but it won't tell me if I'm going to get into another lane and crash into somebody.
What model did you get? What year?
I had the Plaid, and it was I think it was a 2022.
Okay.
And so, it's not just recent like today, but it was even a 23. You know what? I think it was a 23. It was a 23.
Yeah. I have been told that they changed they changed a lot of things for those models. And so I was really disappointed because people who have the older models, they hear like an alert when they're getting too close to something. And I think it's because they have the ultrasound system. Mm-hmm. So anyway, well, I understand what you're talking about.
Yeah. And so what don't you like about your Tesla? Because you said, I hear you. What else don't you like about it?
Where do I begin? I think that the mileage is way overrated. If you put the Sentry mode on, which is supposed to protect you from people breaking in or sabotaging it, like they're setting Teslas on fire, it sucks up so much energy that I found that I had to charge it every day.
Wow.
And I don't know. There's a lot of things that they weren't really, I don't feel like they were really honest. And then they said the full self-driving was going to be going live in 2017 and then 2025.
No,
and
you don't want to do that.
It's not. No.
When I put on full self-driving mode, I wouldn't be sitting here right now. And I'm not kidding. I mean, it just blew through a stop sign. Almost crashed into a motorcycle if I hadn't grabbed the wheel. And I don't understand how people can sit in a Tesla and read a book or worse, go to sleep and think,
totally.
This is going to be fine.
I wouldn't trust it either.
Well, let me tell you, there's a product called Accele, ACCELE, and it's something that I was looking at if I were to keep the Tesla. It has small LED indicators that you install near the mirrors. It's about, $350 plus install. And then another one's called Brand Motion. That's more expensive, but if you really wanted to spend the money, it's closer to $700. I know.
Wow.
You're like,
okay.
What? What is this? I think I'm going to go buy a Honda. Okay.
Oh, really?
I mean, at some point, is it really worth retrofitting this? I don't know. Only you can make that decision. You can turn on blind spot camera. It's in the settings. And so that's when you signal. So you have to always use your signal. And that's what I found, even for the limited time that I had the Tesla, that was just really super important. Karen, thank you for your call. If you need those names again, just hang on the line. Happy to provide them to you. Hey, you know that glow that you see on folks who just seem to radiate health? It's not just good lighting. It's what's happening inside their body. And it's one of the best kept secrets to looking and feeling amazing. It's collagen. You see, as we age, our body slows down collagen production, leading to wrinkles and thinning hair and achy joints and brittle nails. But there is good news. You can fight back naturally with high quality collagen from Native Path. You're giving your body the essential building blocks to support smoother skin and stronger nails and shinier hair and even healthier joints. You know, some studies suggest collagen supplements may support bone health. And it's not about turning back time, it's about feeling your best at any age. And right now, as a Kim Komando Show listener, you get 45% off with free shipping and a free gift bundle. That's getnativepath.com/Kim, getnativepath.com/Kim.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Individual results may vary.
All right, still to come, my experience with ChatGPT and more of your phone calls here on the Kim Komando Show. Hey, you don't want to miss any special moments in yours and your loved ones' lives. So if you're struggling to hear what's going on around you, you need to check out hear.com/Kim. They have these high-tech hearing aids like the Horizon IXs. And then they also have a nationwide audiologist network and online consultation. So help is always close by. Head over to hear.com/Kim. That's hear.com/Kim. So as you know, Andrew, I have a beautiful, beautiful puppy, golden retriever. Her name is Bella.
Yeah, is Abby getting jealous? You're doing a lot of Bella talk here lately.
I know, a lot of Bella talk. And so I was wondering how Bella and Abby, how they were really just getting along.
Okay.
Because it was concerning to me because Abby was like, ruff, 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 and Bella goes over and like bites her ear. Okay. And so I opened up ChatGPT and I put it on video. And then I asked ChatGPT, what do you think about the dogs playing together? This is my older golden retriever and with a brand new puppy. And it came back and it said, wow, you know, these two are really getting along. Oh. I mean, so it's an interesting use of ChatGPT that I
wouldn't even think of.
Yes.
That's ridiculous. I actually had a cool thing with ChatGPT this week as well. My girlfriend's daughter asked me to hang 3 pictures in a row in a 60-inch space in her bedroom. And I'm like, sure. I put the dimensions of the picture, the placement of where the screw holes were, put it all in ChatGPT. It told me exactly where to put all 3 screws. 10 minutes done, perfectly spaced out.
Wow. See, isn't that something?
It was so neat.
Otherwise, you'd be like looking like a fool.
Oh, no, I would screw it up. There's no doubt about it. I would absolutely have screwed it up.
All right, still to come. I got to talk about some precautions that you need to take over at the IRS. I know, it's not really fun talk here on the Kim Komando Show. Hey, what if you could cut your cloud bill in half? If you act by May 31st, Oracle Cloud Infrastructure can help you do that. Offer only for new U.S. customers with a minimum financial commitment. See if you qualify for half off at oracle.com/Kim. All right, the IRS wants you to sign up for a 6-digit PIN. If you haven't done this already, go over to irs.gov so that this way scammers cannot pretend to be you, because this way when you file your taxes, you actually have to enter in that PIN. Yes, super important for you to do. Just do it right now while you're thinking about it. And also enter to win that brand new iPhone at winfromkim.com.